Hopefully that's better. I'm not really sure what was going on with the stream before. You guys can let me know that you can hear me okay, like in the chat. That would help me out. What was going on with the stream before? You guys can let me know that you can hear me okay, like in the chat. That would help me out. Yes, all good. All right, sweet. Thank you. Appreciate that. 649. Just get my opening range gap quadrants on here. Got this 15-minute bit, so you got a little order block right here. This could be some quick manipulation at the open, but just waiting. Um, daily quad. Okay, so we're actually in an important area right now. Daily quadrants I'm using. I'm not. I have them marked out on a separate screen, so I use two monitors, and I do markings on one chart because it gets really messy. So I keep my daily quadrants on my top step chart where I'm actually executing. That's where I'm funded with. So quadrants I have marked right here, so I'll do it real quick. This, and then I have this wick, since it's a swing wick, and it's the most protracted right here, most relevant. And I also have this daily discount wick right here because we were trading into it pre-market. Currently not right now, but if we do get a dip at the open, we could, which we currently are getting. So that's that. I'm still bullish towards all of these. I had a lot of good buy side targets that I wanted here at London high. There's a pre-market high here. That's not the pre-market high anymore. This is the new pre-market high, but that all got ran. I was looking at this high as well that got ran. So there's not any imbalances below London low. Right here, pre-market low and London low are relatively equal. I'm not I don't need price to go all the way down here, but if it does, then that's fine. I would prefer that there would be like an imbalance below here. That would be an obvious area for us to bounce off of after we sweep London low, but we don't have that. But what we do have is this discount daily wick. So if you have these quadrants on your chart, you're going to see that a lot of them go or are resting below this London low. So that could be an area where we do see some support below London. But again, I'm really just interested in going long. This is a fair value gap that's in line with that. All right, so there's your London low. And apologies in advance if I'm not like super reactive to the chat because I have to switch screens on my second monitor. I have my top step chart where I'm looking at my levels, and then if I want to check chat, I have to go to a different browser. So I gotta trying to stay focused because I'm still trading. This wasn't a bad short right there, obviously in hindsight, but I liked how it was in line with that lower quadrant of the opening range gap. But now we're getting into some of those areas of the discount wick. So I wanna. We just swept New York AM low. So if I go to real time trade, that's that lunch low right there. We do have, a lot of relative equal lows right here, but we are bouncing off of. I think what I will keep on is this discount wick because this is really gonna, if we're gonna be bullish, this is gonna play a big role in my analysis here, and I want you guys to just see what I see. I'll make it red because it's discount. Here, I'll do this. Red, and I'll just make it super light. But you can see how we're holding that. We swept some session liquidity and we're holding that, so that's why it's important to me. Could this be more obvious pre-market manipulation than yesterday? The move is smaller, but it has hit a strong key level. What do you think? Looking for London lows are going higher, some chop? Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think I pretty much answered that. I'm still looking for higher. I like these relative equal highs right here. To me, I don't really trust this Sibi right here because it's not really in line with anything. This could just be like your smart money reversal, and then since this isn't in alignment with any kind of quadrant level, then I just see it as a common gap right now. So what I would require is for price to prove to me that this is going to be like the low risk buy in a market maker buy model, and then give me some kind of bullish gap up here that I can go long from. But I don't trust this gap right now. Let me get this off. And that comes with being patient, right? Like I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for this to inverse right now. I have certain standards that I look for in the gaps that I'm using, and this gap does not meet that criteria. So what I do is I wait for it to prove to me that it wants to use that, and then wait for a gap to form in an area where I'm expecting it to form that meets my criteria. But right now I like the bullish signatures I'm seeing after sweeping session lows, and we're holding this. We could get another stab below here. So I'm not saying that this is going to be the low right now, but this is my idea right now. This is your initial low. So anytime we go and create like that first swing low and swing high, I want that marked. And the fact that this just opened and dropped with really no wick, no manipulation proves to me, or doesn't prove to me, but it just gives me a feeling that this is just your opening range manipulation, your Judas swing. Since Wednesday didn't really do anything and I have all of my targets, or I shouldn't say didn't do anything, but it hit all my targets at the end of the day. I have my weekly targets still up here, so weekly high right here is what I'm looking for in this Cibi. This is everything. I went over all of this in my weekly outlook on Sunday. I really called the formation of this candle. I didn't just call the up move. I called that it was the low of the week was going to happen either on like a Monday or Tuesday right here. It happened on the Monday in this gap. I didn't want to see us go below on a closing basis 50% of this or 50% of this, right? So I'm seeing exactly what I want to see within this week. Just so far, I would say it's a tough. Um, Monday was good. Tuesday and Wednesday have definitely been difficult. So I'm just sitting at break even on the week right now. But again, I want to emphasize that on my other charts, I have quadrants on this level and quadrants on this level that I'm looking at. And it plays a massive role in how I'm reading price. So some buy side targets to the left is this high, and this high. If we can get some movement through these levels after inversing this could be an order block right here. So I'm just going to have this in gray because to me it's just a common gap. And I want to see some bullish signatures off of that. And then really what I'm looking for is a fair value gap to form like up here. But this is holding two major quadrant levels like right around this level right now that aren't on the chart. So this is a pretty crucial area. And I'll let you guys know whenever I do choose to enter a trade. You'll probably hear it too. You'll hear like the order execute on my other screen. But I would assume that a lot of people are trying to long this right now. Again, this is just a common gap for me. This is not a gap of any significance right now. I'm just looking to see how we use it. And I already gave the explanation on why this is a common gap for me. So if you're watching this now and you didn't hear that part, then let me know. I can explain it again, but I want to try to refrain from repeating myself a bunch of times. So I would imagine a lot of people are trying to do something like this right now. And yeah, based on like that close of this candle, and probably something I would have done in the past, not something I'm going to do now because of those standards I have with my gaps, and you can see that it's helping me avoid losing trades. Um, I just hate when annotations on like the 1 minute chart are showing up on my 15. But just like see the significance of having these levels on your chart. Like this is, it tells you so much, right? So we are in a premium gap, immediately fill that, trading below it. Depending on how this 15-minute candle closes, we could see a move lower. I mean, I know we do have these relative equal lows right here, but I'm not expecting those to get hit. If my bullish bias for today is wrong, then that would make for a good target if we do somehow switch to a sell program. But right now I'm still bullish. I would not want to see those get hit. I called yesterday that I did not want to see. So yesterday was this candle right here. I did not want to see previous day low get hit. We formed on um, a swing from within this daily BISI right here, this daily fair value gap. And so when I said that if we dug into this candle's wick, discount wick, it would make for good buying opportunities. We weren't even able to do that. This was a daily order block right here, and then we traded higher. So higher time frame order flow is obviously bullish. I'm just trying to get in line with that because that's where the best and um, most consistent, I guess I could say, or the best moves. That's where they'll come from. You can still take shorts. I tried a short yesterday, I lost. I tried a long yesterday and I lost. Yesterday it was just dog shit price action. How do you draw your opening range quadrants? So really what I just do is I have my previous day settlement chart or my previous day settlement on my chart right here. So every single day I'm just planting this line that says previous day settlement, and then I have my 9:30 opening price right here that tells me. And so what I do is I just draw a fib. So this was 25,649. Started my fib right here, put it up to right here. Doesn't really matter if you start from here to here or from here to here. I just want those levels on my chart. Because also the size of the gap can help you forecast price as well, if it's going to be, um, if you can expect a little bit of chop or not. 60 points is fine. If it was anything under like 40, then it's a time where you probably want to wait till like 10 a.m. to take trades. This is a very bearish close on the 15 minute. I'm not completely convinced of lower prices yet. I do imagine at some point we'll go and tap this. I would want to see how we react from here after we do that, if it's going to be a run or a sweep. So what I mean, a run is if it's just going to like displace through that, just keep on going, or if it's going to sweep it and then move higher. Right now there's nothing for me to do. Notice how I said this was a common gap, and it hasn't been that clean delivery from a fair value gap that you want to see. Like we closed above it, closed under it. Even if I was bearish, this is not the type of signature in a gap that I would want to see. And if I was bullish, this is definitely not the type of behavior I'd want to see in that gap. So his previous day settlement, the level at which price closed last candle the day before, yes, at 4:14, I believe it is. So this is regular trading hours. That's a price in 9:30, and the quadrants in the space are levels you want to have on your chart every single day. If you guys are watching and you're not subbed, please sub to the channel. I do this for free. Also got a Discord in the description if you want to join that. It's free. See what ES is doing. ES is taking that low. That's gold. Don't want to look at that. Look at that touch off of that level. Right? That's swing wick. That's fucking perfect. It's looking pretty bearish, I'm not gonna lie. I would need to see some convincing movement here now that the macro's coming up at 950 that we're gonna move higher. Sweep a previous day low, a previous day high into a swing wick quadrant. Perfect respect to that. It's kind of looking like this is your 15-minute change in a state of delivery, and we could be heading lower. That's what I'm seeing with ES at least. This is kind of when it becomes a little bit lower probability to me because again, higher time frame. Um, Higher time frame tells me that I want to see on, or I want to see us go higher, right? Like I have clear targets in which I want to see the weekly candle expand to. And with it being a Thursday, right? So Monday, I'm assuming made the low of the week as we called out on Sunday. Tuesday gave expansion. Wednesday kind of consolidated, didn't really give us that expansion. So what I want to see is Thursday give us the real expansion into my targets, and then Friday could give like a retracement, like that TGIF, and then kind of teeter off. But if Thursday doesn't really reach up here, if we are bullish, then I would expect Friday to kind of finish off the week, completing its objective. So I want to know if London Low is going to get hit on ES. Okay, cool. We'll study those and see how I can apply that within my trading. Yeah, it's a really important factor in my analysis. It's something that I think when you're doing your analysis every day at night, like I include their own screenshots of like, all right, so ES just hit London low. I include their own screenshots of regular trading hours and electronic trading hours because that gap, it can really tell you a lot about how the morning will deliver. Sometimes, not all the time. But this move lower is a direct manipulation of everyone who's trying to chase this. A bunch of people got excited at this move higher pre-market, taking London high, so breakout traders are engaged too. And then they want to see the market open at 9:30 and just shoot higher. All of those people just got wrecked. So London low is swept on ES. Jesus, that's loud in my ear. Still hitting this 75 level. With SMT. So if this SMT is going to hold, I would want to see it hold for bullish prices. ES is right in this daily order block. Pretty crucial area. Holding that 50. This candle opens a little bit below it, but had the immediate reaction to close back above it. I want to see that continue to hold. If it doesn't, I could be wrong. Like we could be going lower, so I'm prepared for that. Yeah, that 15 looks pretty bearish. I would feel a lot better if one of these quadrants was paired with like a higher time frame gap right here. But like if you check every time frame, like you can even check like the 2 hour, the 3 hour, there's nothing there, right? So YouTube's telling me that the stream doesn't have enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Viewers will experience buffering. Can you guys let me know in the comments if you're experiencing buffering or if um, the quality of the stream isn't there? If we can hold SMT, bounce off of this level right here and create a gap, because there's two quadrants aligned within this level, I only have one of them shown on this chart. I would like that for longs. This level right here and create a gap. Yeah, I think we're at the same choppy level as yesterday right now. Quality looks great with me, no issues at all. Stream is good. Okay, cool. That's good to hear. Yeah, I would want to see some displacement through here, and we are in the macro. So 950 to 1010. So when time and price is aligned, this is that message I sent in the Discord was honestly fucking fire. um, Yesterday, or maybe not yesterday, maybe the day before, but just being patient enough to wait for very specific gaps to form over meaningful levels at the right time, right? This gap was aligned with time, right? We're in the opening range. Let me take this off and this off. So 9:30 opens. I'm hunting, right? This gap is verified by the right time, but it's not overlaying any meaningful quadrant to me. So not everything was there. See how if you hold yourself to specific standards on what you look for, and over time you'll get better at knowing what quadrants to use on the daily chart and having levels like this on your chart, and even sometimes like I'll use old opening range gap quadrants from like the day before or 2 days before, or something that's meaningful, right? Something that we're trading right into. If you see a gap that's overlapped with that, I'm just not interested. See what we do here. So the fact that a gap was not left right here, see we swept that. If there was a gap right here, that'd be meaningful to me. We swept that and immediately went up and hit that level. Left no gap. So even if there was like a little fair value gap right here, I'm not using that for a short or a long. I'm going to wait and see how price uses it. So there's gaps that I use to wait and see how price is going to react to it, if it's going to give me those bullish signatures, and then there's gaps I use where I'm entering off of that are overlapping these levels. The common gaps I have in gray. The meaningful gaps to me I put in gold or yellow like this. That's just how I chart it, just so my eye sees it. So you see how we were bouncing off that new day opening gap, low of that, got that movement down. So if this does end up being a sweep, we can use this gap as inversion. I'd wait to see if we use it as inversion, and then if we could get like displacement through this level. This is very important to me right here because it is a new day opening gap. It's this daily quadrant level, and then there's another daily quadrant level not shown here. So if we could get displacement through all of that, then I would like longs. So just waiting to see how we use this, right? Like the body hold that. So far I see the wicks doing the damage up into this order block in this fair value gap, and I see this level holding. So this could be a valid order block. So this is actually right in alignment with yesterday's opening range gap, so I do like this gap. The fact that we've swept initial low though already, it's a little bit lower probability for a short. Um, I'd probably wait. I'd wait to see if we could get displacement through the midpoint because right now, swept that, midpoint's holding of this opening range gap. Kind of stalling. So this gap is pretty meaningful to me now. Market structure shift would be above here. Do you also use volume to filter out weak setups? No, I do not. I don't look at volume in the markets because volume is kind of for a how do I put this? For like a metaphor, it's like looking at yesterday's weather and saying, "Oh, it rained yesterday." That means it's going to rain right now, today. Not necessarily. So look at that right there, right? This opening range gap is definitely meaningful. It's yesterday's. Sweep initial low, hold that. Perfect tap off of there. I see this as price deciding like what it wants to do right now. This is kind of like the line in the sand. If we can inverse this or use it as inversion, then I'd want to see a market structure shift, and then I could enter off of a gap here. So in a market maker buy model, this is going to be your smart money reversal if it's going to happen right here. I'm still waiting to see. I don't enter off of the smart money reversal. This would be your low risk buy if it's going to inverse this. And then your first stage of accumulation could happen up here in some kind of gap. and then you treat this as like an order block. So there would be a ton of things that I like if we could displace through this and um, create a gap up here. So it's just a matter of waiting. Midpoint still holding. See how right before, or we actually did get a close above midpoint right there. Or nope, this is not drawn out correctly. Got to include that volume imbalance. So we have gotten a close above midpoint already. How we react is important. If this candle, after we get the close above midpoint, typically what I like to see after 1 or 2 minutes, if I was bearish, is an immediate response lower. But notice how after we created this gap, price is starting to use it as discount levels, right? So trading up into the gap, now treating the bottom as support, trading up into the gap, kind of going down here, up, right? So you want to see how those levels are being used, like the quadrants. Lower quadrant starts to hold, midpoint starts to hold, lower quadrant hit right there off of that candle, or just about. Now we're closing above the mid or the upper quadrant right there, and we did close above the fair value gap. So if this candle's going down, as soon as we closed above, this candle opened inside of it, and now we're going down and some strong displacement right there. So I want to see how this candle closes. Is it going to close back below the midpoint, or is this all wick? Meaning this is manipulation and we'll get a close back like above midpoint or up here. I would not short from this SIBI because this is very messy in here. What do you think about previous day wick CE since last 2 days? No, I don't use volume footprint. What do you think about previous day wick CE? Yeah, I mean, it could go down there, right? And that would be an important level for me, right down here. So let me look at my other chart. Um, yeah, that would be a good area to, just depending on if we get any gaps formed down there. All right, so going back to this, we closed below midpoint of this, and now we're seeing an immediate reaction away from it. So let's walk through it again. Up, 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 starting to use these as discounts, starting to use this as discount. Okay, now we're going to go down. Nope, we're going right back up. So that's price showing a willingness to immediately move with energy back above here. So now we got that close above. Now we can, if we're trading through this on a closing basis, I would want to see this be an order block, and then really what would do it for me is this being a market structure shift right here to kind of confirm that. But you can't get ahead of yourself, right? You're just reading the bullish signatures. We're waiting for something to happen. We already know what we want to see happen up here, right? We know where we want our gaps to form. We're just waiting. We're waiting for price to prove to us bullish signatures down here on this gap to then go higher. You could use this as an entry, right? To me, that'd be very like a very aggressive entry. I would, if I was pyramiding like that, I would start with my lowest size position down here just to kind of see an amount that I would not care about losing at all. Put the stop below like this swing low, or if you were very aggressive, this order block right here, but I'm not like that. I'm I'm trading with size now where I want to be patient because this is tough to navigate, right? To see if the move was supported by higher. So I don't, yeah, I know I answered this already, but going back to that, before I discovered ICT concepts, I traded with volume footprint. Um, it really didn't do anything for me. It kind of just looked like if it works for you or other people and they have success with it, then good for them. It's not for me. Um, as far as to see if the move was supported by high or low volume, I can see that in the candles, right? I don't need the volume footprint to tell me. I know when I see a displacement candle. Man, oh man, pretty ugly. Again, this is why pattern trading doesn't work because people were probably trying to long from this inversion fair value gap. And I guess it's not pattern trading, but it's trading the concepts in a patterned way or retail way. And this is kind of what I was referring to when I sent that message in the Discord a couple days ago is there's a retail way to trade these concepts and there's a more algorithmic way. It sounds corny, but there's a more algorithmic way to trade the concepts and I told you why I was not going to long this inversion fair value gap. It's something I would have done in the past, I'm telling you. Like I would long this. I would think it swept pre-market low, it swept London low, I have relative equal highs above. Fuck yeah, I'm going to long that. It doesn't meet my criteria now because of everything I mentioned before. People are probably trying to long this. They see, oh, we got a sweep of low right there, inversion fair value gap. Let's go long. This still could work, right? I mean, if you had your stop loss below here, you're still in the trade. But I'm trying to like read the story and read price action in a way where it's telling me a story on just building the probabilities up by reading price action, seeing the signatures of it within specific gaps, and then anticipating where gaps are going to form. And then when I see that, entering. It's not reacting, it's anticipating. I see a lot of people say, don't anticipate, react. That makes no fucking sense to me. Like, why, if you're reacting to the market, you see something like this and you go, oh my God, look at the volume in that candle. Look what it just did. Okay, so I guess if we inverse that, then I'll go long. No, I'm anticipating where the gaps are actually going to form. And then think what that does for you over time when you're literally anticipating where the gaps and where your entries are going to form based off of these levels. and then it happens, and you see displacement exactly where you want to see the displacement, and then you enter the trade within that fair value gap off of that displacement leg that you were already anticipating to happen beforehand, and then you hit your trade and you win. Think about what that does for your confidence, man. It that's why I'm able to not jump the gun on things like this or things like this. I really only wanted to stream until 10:30, but I'm getting this feeling that the move for the day, if it doesn't happen by 10:30, it's going to happen at like 10:50 for that macro. Look at the hit off that midpoint. It's perfect. It's this gap. Yesterday's opening range gap. Waiting to see if it's going to reclaim this. Use it as inversion now, and then we get displacement now. This would be an aggressive market structure shift. This would be like a your safest bet market structure shift. There's SMT there. Got these lows. This low is significant to me because it's the lowest low of the opening range gap. So 9:30 to 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is delineated right here. So I'm always looking at the initial low that was created, which is this one. We went and swept that. Then this created the lowest low within the opening range gap from 9:30 to 10. What happens right here? SMT. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. It's loading slow today. Lowest low within the opening range gap for ES. Swap that. Look at that perfect tap off the weekly open. Right there. With a gap. So I want to see that hold. Hits midpoint of this. So I wouldn't want to see us close below midpoint of that gold gap. That's really cool, honestly. What does macro mean and why is it meaningful? So a macro is a 950. So it's any 50 to 10. So what I mean by that is 950 starts right here to 1010. Your next macro is 1050 to 1110. The one after that is 1150 to 1210 and so on. You get the point. Um, what we can expect is spooling within the market during these specific times. And if it doesn't happen, it can kind of tell you that the characteristics of price action right now are pretty bad. Notice how 950 to 1010 really didn't do anything right now. It did sweep this initial low, but after that it died. So It's not like an end all be all where you need to see it because sometimes it's not going to do it. You're going to see sometimes this whenever price action isn't great, but whenever the market is running smooth and we're seeing good price action, many times what you're going to see is during those specific time windows, setups are going to form and they'll be fast. 15-minute SMT inside a 15-minute gap on ES. Again, I'm higher time frame bullish, so like little SMT like this doesn't mean anything to me. Um, Especially when it's like against my bias. I think that's what I see a lot of people do too, is they just use SMT as a reason to get into a trade. SMT is not a reason to get into a trade. It is just a confluence factor in an idea that you're already looking for. You don't need SMT in a trade. If SMT was not here, it wouldn't matter to me. And we do end up getting a setup. It would not matter to me whether I take the trade or not. The creator of the concepts even said that himself. So it's not just me spewing shit. I don't make anything up myself. I'm not someone who is doing marketing to try and make money off of you by rebranding stuff and giving things cool names. Everything I say are things that I directly learned from watching damn near every fucking ICT video there is. So remember, we wanted to see a gap form up here. I'm going to see a gap form right within this level. I want to see how we use these two. Why? Because two down closed candles in this SIBI. Bodies did not reach midpoint. They held these two levels in the upper quadrant of this SIBI. So I'm looking to see if we can use this as a discounted order block. And then if we can use that, that's a lot of signatures already telling me that we're starting to lean higher, is everything we've done down here that I just talked about within this. And then using this, so I need to see a reaction here. We closed right at that. I don't want to see us go down here. I definitely don't want to see it close below midpoint. If I see it close below midpoint, then this is just, um, it's just not good. It's just not good price action. And if we just get displacement through all this, then I think we could be heading lower. Yeah, so that got completely disregarded. so this looks like sell side to me. Yep, there you go. Fast move. Right off of this level. If you look to the left, this one. So now we're heading into previous day wick midpoint right here. It's kind of like your last line of defense for AM session bullishness, in my opinion. Because if we get, displacement through these, then I think we definitely head lower. If we don't get the reversal at 10:30, 10:30 is a reversal time. Um, we'll probably see that typical lunch macro where it's a one-sided move in the morning session, leaving a lot of buy side, a lot of highs, relative equal highs, and then that lunch macro run on AM session buy side for those who have been profitable in the morning. To be honest, I'm rich on paper today. Not doing anything yet, just waiting. Let's see if we can pierce this. If we form a BISI right here, I'll try it.
Order filled. Order filled.
Alright, so I'm trying longs there. Seeing that as the market structure shift, now I'm just kind of thinking about good areas to go break even. We got this 15-minute civvy here. It's pretty close. So I could break even at like midpoint of this range. 626.5. That's that. By the way, don't copy. So I guess what I can do to make it a little bit more fun for you guys is this. Oh wait, whoops. Need to see that. Mic cut out. Can you hear me? You know what? Actually, I can't do it this way because I need to be able to switch through my accounts and I don't want you guys seeing my shit. But you know I'm in the trade. Did the mic really cut out? Can you hear me? Can hear you now, yes, okay. Okay, yeah, so I am in from where you see on here. All right, I have on my other screen, I have my Tommxmy account or my accounts, and that's where I'm looking at. Um, I just don't want to keep that on this chart because I have to flip through them because I have um, a 150K account and then four 50K accounts, and I have different risk on my 150K, so I've got to switch through them a bunch, and I just don't want you guys to like see my account info and like all that. So this will have to do. So this in a market maker buy model, this is your anticipating that is going to be this is your smart money reversal stabbed lower beneath that opening range low. So remember that lowest low within the first 30 minutes. Hit the upper quadrant of um, yesterday's opening range gap. So that's an algorithmic signature to me. I like that. Inverse this gap, which was in alignment with the upper quadrant of that gap, or lower quadrant. Okay, so let me start over. Stab lower beneath this significant sell side into the lower quadrant of this right here. Had immediate displacement away through that, through this gap that was in alignment with the two of those levels, right? Two quadrants overlapping that. I think we are getting into a new day opening gap that I need to see displacement through right now. Yep, so we're hitting that new day opening gap right there. So this is your low risk buy within a market maker buy model. And then I want to see that first stage accumulation form right within this area. So displacement through here with a fair value gap and maybe even an order block would be good for a first stage accumulation. I don't want to go for any crazy targets like all the way up here. I'm looking at this because it's in alignment with the midpoint of the opening range gap. So if we're thinking about low hanging fruit targets, it's still a 2.3 risk to reward and still trading within the range. And also, if you take a fib from the high to that low, I want to see where the 0.075 level is because okay, so it's right there. I want to make that known and then get all these off. There's a lot of shit on the charts right now. It's usually not like this, but I'm just trying to explain stuff as we go. This is significant to me because in a market maker buy model, we don't have to go hit that original consolidation or those highs. We could just reach that 0.705 level. That's like that, what do you call it? That sweet spot. So I'm asking for just a little bit more. I may take some partials like in this area or this area, but asking for just a little bit more into this right here. I want to keep track of ES and where it's trading at. Okay, I think we're all set now. You said oh yeah, I said by the way, don't copy my trades. I like this. That fair value gap that I was looking for a first stage accumulation within a market maker buy model happening right over a quadrant level right there. Not sure why I did that. Oh, we just hit the midpoint of that range too, so I'm gonna go break even here. And when I say the midpoint of the range, I'm talking about from this high to this low. That's what this line is. That's what I drew up before. So if I'm wrong and we do end up going lower, it would be like going into a premium and then selling off. So I use that for trade management purposes. We're also trading above midpoint of this. So remember I had these quadrants on my chart. We're trading above midpoint of that, which is good. It's like right about, it's at 61700. So right about right here. And again, that's on my other chart. This is actually drawn wrong again. Yeah, so I want this to be my first stage accumulation, anticipating where that happens, right? We're seeing accumulation now. It's also at the midpoint of this, where we can expect to see accumulation and kind of like the line in the sand where if we're going to go higher or lower. That's why I am break even. Oh yeah, I figure that's what you said. I'm personally here to learn, to be able to apply this stuff to myself in the future. Really appreciate you doing this. Yeah, for sure, man. I do want to show my other screen because I feel like I could just explain things better, and you guys seeing it real time could be helpful. Um, all right, so this is what we'll do. So this is what I was talking about, is these levels here. This is gonna look off just because the micro contracts and these specific price levels are different. I use the mini contracts in those levels, and then I just adjust it on here. Okay. Again, anticipating that first stage accumulation here, because this is an old area of distribution. But I like where this area is happening because, yeah. Oh, I also didn't even mention that if you look at this previous day discount wick right here, and uh, this level within this old gap, Look how they are laying right on top of each other. And look how Price was using this. Stopped dead in its tracks right there, hung around here, used it right there, went up, and then this is where my gap was made, over top of that level. That's why I'm choosing those specific fair value gaps. My entry on my 150K account was way higher than I wanted it to be because I entered first on my 50K accounts. My 50K accounts are entered like literally right here, so there's pretty much no drawdown on the trade. Um, so yeah, I got in much later on my 150K account than I would have liked. But nonetheless, break even right now on both of them. We got the macro coming up here. So 1050, I'll mark that out. That's when I would really want to start to see price go in my direction. If I'm wrong, we're going to be wrong here because we also have, if this is a sell model, and this is like you're changing the state of delivery right here on the 15 minute, we're right in that right now. So this is where I really need to see price hold. And if it doesn't, then I'm probably wrong and the break even was a good trade. All right, yeah,
Order
we're
filled.
we're out there. Let me fix it on my other accounts. So I'm actually still in that trade on my 50K accounts because, like I said, my break even is right down here. So I expect them to get hit break even. But we also have this. So we shall see. This will be important right here.
Order filled.
All right, so there's break even on my 50K accounts. So yeah, so far break even on the day. Entering the macro right now. Still left relative equal highs. But yeah, you see we went right up into that 15 minute right there. Still another entry opportunity. Like if we hit this macro and we can inverse this, then I can still try longs. Um, but if we go down and like inverse this, then I could look for shorts to, like this could be unfinished business going right above that midpoint. But I still favor longs for now. So I'd be looking at this. This is a suspension block. This is my line in the sand for longs or short, or for longs, and then if we get displacement through this, and then we get displacement through and create a fair value gap through this level, because there's multiple quadrants right here, one's not shown, then I could look for shorts just for a continuation lower. This is a suspension block. This is my line in the sand for longs or short, or for longs, and then if we get displacement through this, and then okay, so let's see what we do right here. If we're bullish, we should just be sweeping this into this, and then move higher from here. We got relative equal highs. But if we just give it up and go right through it all, create a fair value gap, then I'm looking for down here. And then we could go towards the weekly opening price because it is a new week opening gap. And these relative equal highs right below a new day opening gap is a good draw on liquidity too. So kind of in a tough spot right now, honestly. I figured this was going to go way past 10:30. Tough couple days, man. Tough couple days of price action for sure. Like, to me, it still looks like it wants to go higher. But we'll see right here. Because we could be in a sell program right now. We use this as a order block. Really just use all this. So was your inversion. Bearish displacement through here, bullish displacement through up here. And then we're coming up on 11 a.m., which could see that run on profitable AM traders. So who's been profitable in the morning? Sellers, right? Where are their stops placed? Probably above these relative equal highs. So some things to consider. We'll see if this is an order block. Be a propulsion block actually, because this is your order block. Price went up into it, tapped it. Bodies are right on that. Look how the wick went down, touched it, body's holding it. I'll live stream for another 10 minutes, so till 11:10. If we don't get anything by then, I'll probably shut it down. This was a very good trade right here, though. There was very little drawdown. There's almost no drawdown, actually. Tapped me in, went just a little bit below, and then shot off. So I was really expecting, because of that reaction there and the behaviors we saw in price, that it was just going to be a clean run higher. So I was kind of surprised by the break even, quite honestly. Good, I'm glad to hear that. That's what it's for. So midpoint here is going to be important of this. Because we got to close below midpoint. So if we're going to continue to show bullish signatures, it should be a strong up close candle, immediate response in our favor. Back up above here within the next one or two candles. If it doesn't do that and we just continue to kind of go lower and inverse this, then down here. But the 15-minute does look very bearish towards potentially this low. Yeah, if anything, we might want to go sweep this one more time and then start to make that run higher for the lunch session. What does something like this look like? To the weekly open. We could do something like that. Yeah, so this is an order block. Don't want to see it go and take this yet. It's got to hold. Then if we could get a run up into here, that'd be good. I'd go short from there. This just has to hold. So we're looking at 547. So 3 there. Don't want to see that ran yet. If it does, then I can't enter it. Alright. Went without me. It's a good study though. Like this is what I was. If we got a close below here and then a tap, I would have been able to get into this, but it's fine. This could be the last sweep before we actually move higher. Because we got the midpoint of the previous day wick right here. And we also have the low of a previous new week opening gap, which is going to be this guy right here. If you look on the left. And there's SMT on the 10 a.m. candle there. There goes gold, finally. So we'll see if that holds. I can't take this short because even though it's aligned with the midpoint of the old opening range gap, we already swept this, and this is significant, especially at the time because since it's 11 a.m. and we have equal highs up here, we could see that 11 a.m. lunch reversal, which is why I would not take this short to the new week opening gap. I would wait for it to inverse to try and target these, especially since there's SMT right here. But if it just taps this and then goes, then probably going to be done for the day. I probably wouldn't take this. I would need to see us get above here if I were to go long. Okay, so we closed above the midpoint. Could create a gap right here. How we use this will be important. Then if we can get displacement through here, then I'd like it for a long. And that'll be my last of the day. Hit that perfect. Be looking at something like that. But we still got some things to do here. Like we still very well may be bearish. Yeah. Because really we got all this. Just waiting. Pretty boring day. Held that midpoint. Would want displacement right here. So what you typically look for in the lunch macro run is a run for those 10 a.m. highs, or the most obvious 10 a.m. high. This is where I want to see a fair value gap form, right in here. Yeah, I'm probably gonna call it there, unless we get something like right now. If we get displacement off of this midpoint and then a fair value gap right here, that'd be enough for me to take a trade. Right through here is what I'm looking for. Just want to get my risk ready. Looks like it's not going to happen. So honestly, if we go and tap into this area and then get displacement down, you could use this as a reclaimed Sibby to go lower. Because we still got this guy. This beast. They're just not like great targets lower, but this would be a reclaimed Bissy if we can get back up here. Like how we're trading above midpoint of that now. I had a limit set here. Looks like it's not going to get hit. I have to do something like that. Feels like it's not exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, that would be my entry right now. I think I'll try it. So we'll do come back down. I'm gonna try that long if it gives me the entry right here.
Order filled.
Alright, so I'm in that. And I'm just looking for that 10 a.m. high. I have a 12-hour flight on Saturday. Are there any specific ICT training videos I should prioritize downloading? If you're in my Discord, I have a whole section of all the videos that I watched to have the level of understanding that I do. So if you want to join the Discord, the link is in the description. So far, no drawdown on the trade. We're getting up into that new day opening gap right here. Not yet. The risk to reward isn't great on this trade, but I like the idea. It's something I've been looking for, so I'm willing. If I wanted something better, I could try and target that, but it's asking kind of a lot. So I don't want to see us go back below the midpoint of this on a closing basis. If we did close below this, I would need to see an immediate rejection back in my favor. You know, like how the midpoint is in alignment with this quadrant, and then there's another quadrant there not shown. So if I'm right, my stop is safe. If I'm wrong, my stop is where it should be. So if we go and inverse these, then what I could do is move my stop up a bit, and I think I could even pyramid in this too, like one contract. Because I like the reaction off of that midpoint right there, but I need to see us get through this. Yeah, like 120, 80. Yeah, I could do another one right there. Um, like 100. Sorry, I'm like talking to myself right now because I'm trying to calculate this. Yeah, so if we go and inverse this, then I'll add another and then reduce the risk. Because you see how we hit that midpoint, moved up, hit this, moved up. I like the signatures I'm seeing. If you're still here, props to you. This is a long ass live stream. I'm getting tired. So the stop is moved back up to here because I wouldn't want to see us go below midpoint, and that allows me, if I want to add a contract right here at this inversion, to um, put on a little bit
Order
more
filled.
risk without having any actual additional risk. So I just got into that. Now that makes this a little bit better. Probabilities too, so I could really, or not probabilities, RR, so I could really do something like that to the new day opening gap. It's at 645. I don't like this reaction I'm seeing though. It just needs to stay in the upper half of this. Yeah, I'm going to be talking less just because I've been talking a lot and I'm pretty much just watching here now. Really what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug my mic right now, or I'm just not going to talk and I'm going to let this run a little bit. I'll still live stream the trade just because, just so you guys see that I'm still in it. Um, but yeah, I got some other stuff that I got to do, so I'm just going to let it run and feel free to say things in the chat if you have any questions. I'll put the mic back on to answer and things like that, but yeah, I'm just not going to sit here and talk to myself, so I'll be back. Alright, I'm back with you guys. Got some good movement after sweeping this. I was talking about the midpoint of that. I needed us to stay above that on a closing basis, and all the bodies held that, which is good. Displaced them through this new day opening gap. I want to see this used as a inversion fair value gap, and we're entering the macro now. So I want to see us get a clean run up to take these 10 a.m. highs into this new day opening gap that's resting right above it. And that'll be it for me on the trade. Positions are at break even. I want to see this gap hold. There's a lot of confluence right here within this gap. A lot of different areas here. So I want to see this provide just a clean, fast run up to take this. Six, 4, 5 is what I'm looking for. Is it? Wait, no. Yeah, 6, 4, 5. All right, so yep, that's the reaction I wanted to see from here. We'll do this. This is that gap that I was talking about that had a lot of confluence there. See where the move originated? That's why those levels matter. Now we got time on our side with the macro, so just all these things working together. And again, the narrative behind the trade was everyone who's been profitable in the shorts from New York Open, they trailed their stop above here. Technical analysis supports it, time supports it because it's the 11 a.m. macro reversal or lunch reversal. Relative equal highs. There's a new day opening gap right here. When you have relative equal highs and there's a new day opening gap right above it or a new week opening gap, it's like rocket fuel to go and get those. So you should see a quick pop up here. And I think it really could go all the way up here, but I don't want to ask too much because the week has been um, the price action has proven to be tough this week. I'm sitting break even on the week. I won on Monday, had a break even on Tuesday, and then I had two losses on Wednesday, which was yesterday, that took up my wins from Monday. So which is completely fine because it took two losses to completely overtake my wins, my single win from Monday. So it's just that's literally how the risk management plan goes. And then a single win should make all that back and more. And if TP hits here, that's what that'll do. Almost there. Come on. Just get me off this stream and out of this market. Because once this hits, I'm done for the week. Won't even take a look at Friday.
Order filled.
And that's that. So that's my day. Um, Calling it there. Let's see. That was a good day. That was, hold on. Let me calculate. So 361 on each 50K account. That's 4. That's 1444 right there. And then the 150K account had another 732 on it. $2,176 made today in that trade. All outlines there, candle by candle for you. Logic behind the trade, everything there. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. I feel like this was a very good live stream, not just because of the win, but because of just navigating through all these different things and tough price action and seeing some levels that maybe the typical ICT trader wouldn't see. Um, just establishing bias, narrative, and all of that good stuff. Went way longer than I wanted to, about an hour and a half longer than I wanted to, but at least it ended in a win. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care of yourself, and good luck.